There are a number of emerging issues that are impacting the way we lead this year. Economic uncertainty with rising inflation and interest rates, the shift to a more hybrid work model, technological advances, the generational shift with millennials and Gen Z becoming the largest working population, and the importance of health and well-being in the workforce. These issues are triggering a number of leadership trends that you need to know about. These leadership trends will dictate how to become a good leader in this current environment. If this is something you are concerned about for your future career, then keep watching. I'm Cara Ronan, leadership coach to emerging leaders. Every week on this channel, I share videos around leadership and communication to help you advance in your leadership journey. Be sure to subscribe to this channel to see this content every week. And don't forget to download your Go-To Expert Guide. It's a free PDF available on my website that will help you become a go-to expert in your field. There is a link in the description below, and I'll also put one on the screen right here. The first leadership trend is related to artificial intelligence, and in particular, ChatGPT. ChatGPT is an artificial intelligence language model that has the ability of generating human-like text based on the input it is given. People have used it for answering complex questions, generating task lists, creating social media or marketing copy, and even drafting annual reviews or legal documents. Since it was launched in November 2022, it saw exponential growth with over 1 million users logging into the site in the first few days of its release. Now, we've known for a while that artificial intelligence is going to completely change the way we live and the way we work, but we've mostly, up until now, only thought about it in terms of robots. Think of the Amazon warehouse, where robots physically do the manual or repetitive tasks that humans once would have done. So artificial intelligence, and in particular ChatGPT, is a major shift in the way we work and a major shift in the way we are going to lead that you absolutely need to know about. But now with things like ChatGPT, we're seeing the true power of this intelligence, and it's moved into an area that can be quite scary for leaders. In an article from McKinsey, the authors state that ChatGPT is taking technology into a realm once thought to be unique to the human mind: creativity. That's right, AI can now be creative too. This could be scary for leaders, especially those who were hired for the creative thinking ability, or you could use it to your advantage. Use it to gather different ideas that you may have never thought of. Use it as a starting point for analyzing and evaluating ideas. But make sure that you make the final decision. Make sure that you are the one who is mentally making the final decision after analyzing all of the ideas that were presented to you. This is how you maintain ultimate control as a leader. The second leadership trend that is impacting leaders is the hybrid work model. Before 2020, most companies had an in-office only policy where all employees had to physically come to the office to go to work. During 2020, we saw a shift from the in-office policy to working from home or remote work. And now we're starting to see a more balanced version of this with a hybrid work model, where some employees are in the office for a number of days, but they are working from home or working remotely for a number of days. Some employees are completely in the office, other employees are completely working remotely. This seems to work well for employees for their work-life balance. It also seems to work pretty well for companies to help them keep their costs down. However, it poses a challenge for leaders because you have to lead without seeing people in your team all of the time. You have limited communications with your team and limited contact with your team. And this makes it harder to keep on top of what everyone is doing, to drive people towards the group's goals, and to create a sense of connectedness in the team and within the people in your team. To overcome these hurdles, it's really important that you have regular check-ins with your team, either virtually or in person, but regular check-ins to help you understand how everyone is going. It's also important that you communicate the same message multiple times. One of the mistakes a lot of leaders make when they communicate is they think by communicating the message just once, It is enough. People will understand and they will remember, but you really need to communicate the message multiple times, even in in-person environments, but more so in virtual or remote working environments. It's also important to organize regular group activities between people in your team. This will help to create a sense of connectedness and camaraderie with people in your team. Which leads us to the third trend that is impacting leaders, which is engagement and retention. When you have a workforce that is disjointed, as in the case with hybrid work models, it can damage people's morale, sense of stability, sense of connectedness, and also their purpose at work. All of these things are important for employees to feel engaged at work and to want to keep working for you. One could argue that this is what caused the quiet quitting movement that we saw in 2021 and 2022. So leaders need to recognize this challenge. You need to understand that it's much more difficult in a hybrid work model to keep people engaged and to retain employees. So you need to prepare for this. I recommend that you have regular one-on-one meetings with your employees. Find out what they are working on, what are they struggling with, and how can you help them with whatever they're struggling with. Clearly state their importance in the team. What value do they add? What do they contribute that nobody else can? And give regular feedback, both constructive and positive feedback, so people know where they stand. The fourth leadership trend that you need to know about is dealing with uncertainty. This is triggered by the uncertain economic environment and also geopolitical environment that we are operating in right now. Key concerns during this time are: how can we ensure that employees remain productive? How can we cut costs without damaging employees' morale or productivity? How can we grow and remain competitive while still being profitable? There are probably many other concerns and questions that you have as a leader in this current environment, in this uncertain environment, but these are a number of broad ones to get you thinking about. To deal with the economic uncertainty, some companies are limiting or completely removing health and wellness programs that they used to conduct in the workplace. For example, yoga subscriptions in some companies are cancelled, sleeping pods are no longer available, and in-house catering or restaurants or cafes in the office aren't in operation. These things cost money. These things take up office space, which the company obviously pays for in their lease agreement. It's also a distraction for your employees and from their revenue earning time. But keep in mind that removing these types of things because you want to cut cost in this uncertain economic environment could negatively impact the employees' mental health, morale, and as a result, their productivity too. So you really need to find a balance between cutting costs or dealing with the uncertainty and also making sure your company still continues and will still be profitable. Above all, try to find a hybrid work environment that is stimulating, rewarding, and positive for your employees. The fifth leadership trend that you need to know about is the quick fix movement, which is explained in much more detail in this article by Fast Company. I have the link in the description below. The quick fix movement is where people look for the quick fix, the easy way out, instead of the right resolution. This is prevalent in times of uncertainty because people don't like uncertainty. They don't like instability. So they want to make that quick decision to try and get things back on track as soon as possible. For example, they might spend money on promotion and marketing of a dwindling product rather than investing that money in research or development. They might send employees who are struggling to expensive one-day training instead of sitting down with them and having one-on-one meetings and discussions to work out what is going wrong. Or they might send out a multiple paragraph long email explaining to the team the details of a new product launch rather than organizing a Zoom call where everyone can ask questions on the spot. These are all quick fixes, which might be sufficient in the short term, but it doesn't address the core problem in the long term. It's just a distraction that the leader will need to fix again later on. Instead, be courageous. Identify the real problem. Don't be blinded by the fake problem. Be curious, find different and unique ways of dealing with the problem. And be bold, don't be afraid to try something new, maybe something nobody has ever tried before. And if you want to develop leadership skills that will help you stay on top of all of these trends, then you need to watch this video right here. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you in the next one.